They say some secrets sleep quietly until the day you speak them aloud. This is Kunle's story. Once a man of reason, now haunted by the echoes of his own words. And sometimes the people we trust the most may not be real. In the bustling city of Lagos was Kupo Limited, where dreams were built but only through sweat, sleepless nights and sacrifice. A company that paid well, but every kobo had to be earned. At the center of it all was Mr. Pupo, a man whose footsteps could silence a room, stern eyes, sharp suit, and the belief that rest was for the weak. The kind of boss whose presence alone made workers scatter back to their desks. Inside the office buzzed, phones rang, keyboards clattered, papers shuffled endlessly. And at one corner was Kunle, a handsome young man who leaned towards his colleague. His voice was low but playful.
Omo, this man no dey tire o. See time and we still dey office.
His colleague sighed and replied, "Not only for this Lagos, we go dey earn big money, but we go still dey chop slavery." Then, footsteps. Mr. Pupo was coming. Instantly, chairs straightened, files flew open, fingers clattered nervously on keyboards. The gossip died before the boss even entered. Kunle was hardworking, yes, but he had a weakness. He liked to poke his nose where he didn't belong. One time, he lingered in the hallway, pretending to check files while really straining to overhear a private phone call. Another time, in the cafeteria, he tilted his head towards two women whispering, sipping his drink like a spy at work. And his greatest flaw, he could never keep secrets. There was this afternoon, with colleagues gathered, he blurted out something that he had overheard. He spoke loudly, laughing, not noticing that the person he was talking about was standing just behind him, listening. Kunle never noticed anything. He enjoyed the thrill of knowing something that others didn't. But that habit, that weakness, would one day lead him to something far bigger and far darker than Lagos office gossip. Kunle worked extra hours, including his colleagues. They closed late and they were left to face the harsh truth of Lagos traffic. One fateful evening after work, Kunle left the office and walked to the bus station in Oshodi and boarded the bus to Ajah. "Akara and bread!" A woman selling akara at the junction screamed.
"Oga driver, abeg, make I buy bread and akara chop. This journey you know say e still far. Plus this Lagos traffic. I no know when we go take reach house. And my roommate sef for house, e fit no keep food for me. Abeg, just stop for that junction make I buy akara and bread."
The bus stopped at a junction for Kunle to buy akara and bread with a chilled bottle of juice. As they started their journey, Kunle ate and a sigh of relief.
I don't gauge.
Kunle exclaimed as he balanced in his seat inside the bus. Kunle worked in Oshodi but lived in Ajah with his friend Lami. There was this shortcut he loved to pass. It was lonely, dark, and rumor had it that spirits walked past there at odd hours. Inside the bus, an elderly woman spoke to Kunle. "My son, that road no good though. A lot of bad things happen in that area. We even hear people get missing when they pass there, and spirits walk past there a lot."
Spirits? All these na yeye stories. Na me una wan make fear catch. Abeg ye. Shortcut na the way o, especially after Lagos traffic. Abeg, nobody and nothing can scare me. I, Kunle, son of Ajayi. Abeg, you see this bread and akara wey I chop, make una allow am digest well.
Kunle scoffed. Few minutes later, Kunle was walking in the lonely shortcut to his house. Suddenly, he heard a sound from the bush path on the other side of the road. It was an area with abandoned huts. As he walked through the dusty paths towards the hut, the two huts turned into two large eggs, their shells glowing, cracking, and in a split second, they opened up. Two giant dragons emerged and began to chase him. He ran like never before. Kunle fell, and as the dragon was about to swallow him, Kunle screamed and jumped up.
Oya, owa. Oya, we don reach Aja. Everybody calm down. Oga.
Conductor's voice echoed.
Oga wey dey shout inside my bus. Calm down now. You wan sleep inside?
The annoyed conductor shouted. It was a dream all along. Kunle awake and sweat dripping all over. Everyone in the bus had stared at him like a movie. He quickly came down from the bus. It was 1 a.m. already.
Now wow, Lagos traffic is such a mess. Imagine me still on the road at 1 a.m. Office that I left since around 10 p.m. I'm so tired and exhausted. But wait oh, what kind of useless dream was that? I was just shouting and embarrassing myself inside the bus. Must be that tasteless akara I ate. I will never buy akara from that woman again. Rubbish.
Without thinking, he began walking through his normal route, the shortcut to his house. He had never gone past this route this late, but he chose to follow the same path even after 1 a.m. Few minutes into his journey, Kunle saw a lady that looked like someone from the street he lives in. She looked in a hurry, as if injured or being chased by someone. Kunle hid behind an old tank and thought to himself,
Is that not Kehinde? Where is she going in so much a hurry at this time of the night? Let me follow her. She must be up to something. Hey, I must find out what this girl is up to inside this bush.
He quietly followed Kehinde, and before he knew it, he was deep into the thick, dusty forest. Trees as tall as almost reaching the moon, branches like that of the Iroko tree. Then there was an abandoned house in the middle of the thick bushes, with the door worn out, barely hanging on its hinges. Kehinde ran in as if hiding from someone or something. Kunle, eager to see inside of the hut, followed Kehinde, looked at the side and saw a rock nearby. He carried it, placed it close to the window, and he climbed, peeping through the window. Kehinde was no ordinary neighbor. She had legs of a bat, ears looking longer than normal, and sharp, stern green eyes. She looked in pain, as if coming from a spiritual fight, with red scratches and bruises all over her body. Kunle screamed.
Yeah, Jesus!
He held his mouth, eyes in shock. Then he realized it was time to run away. But it was too late. Who is there? Kehinde shouted. I said, who is there? This time in a more fierce voice. Kunle ran, but just in front of him stood Kehinde, half human, half dragon.
Sister Kehinde, I beg.
Shut up! Who is your sister?
Please, I beg you. Let me go. I won't tell anyone what I saw. In fact, I did not see anything. Please, Sister Kehinde, spare my life. I promise I will mind my business.
Kehinde spoke in parables, in anger, letting Kunle know that his curiosity and prying just put him in serious trouble. Kunle, listen to me. The eyes that pry where they should not are like hunters chasing the wind. They see but cannot hold. The tongue that speaks what is hidden will be eaten by its own words. What the night conceals is not for your kind to touch. Listen to me, Kunle. I will let you go, but on one condition. That even the ants in your path must not hear what you have seen. Carry this secret in your heart like fire. Kunle, one slip, one word, and the hunter will become the prey. I warn you again, no one should hear about what you have seen. Now, run home before I change my mind. As she spoke, her green eyes glowed in the darkness, her bat-like legs twitched, ready to move. Kunle, frozen, could only nod in agreement. He knew in his bones that this was no ordinary warning. Echoing in his head, even the ant must not hear, even the ant must not hear, he muttered under his breath as he fled into the night. The only time Kunle ever stopped during his marathon to catch his breath was when he saw the sight of street lights and houses from afar. Back at the estate in Aja, Kunle's flatmate Lami had been worried. He had called Kunle several times but couldn't reach him because the forest Kunle had been in had no network coverage.
Where could Kunle be by this time? This guy is getting me all worked up. It's almost 3 a.m. But this is unlike Kunle.
Suddenly, a knock at the door.
Lami, open the door.
Kunle, are you okay? His roommate asked.
I am fine. I am just tired.
Tired? Kunle, were you running? You are sweating. Kunle, did you roll in the dust? You look a mess. Questions upon questions kept rolling from Lami to Kunle, but all had no answers. Kunle, have you seen ghosts for road?
No, ghost. Some area boys almost robbed me. I mean kidnappers. Yes, kidnappers.
Kunle struggled to cook up a lie.
So, as the kidnappers came, I had to run behind in the bush. It was dusty and muddy. I hid till they could no longer find me.
He said, panting.
When the kidnappers left, I came out of hiding and I ran for my life. That is why my body is like this.
Hey, yeah, sorry, my brother. Lagos is not for the weak. But wait, Kunle, did you pass that shortcut? Lami asked. Kunle couldn't utter a word because several times he had been warned to stop going through the shortcut.
Shortcut don't almost end you, Abi. See, Kunle, take my advice and for the last time, pass where other people pass. You are very lucky you escaped those bad guys, so next time you may not be this lucky. I have heard you. I won't pass there late again. In fact, I will not go through that route again, no matter the time of the day. It's alright, Kunle. Just go inside and freshen up. Kunle. Shortcut master. This guy is very stubborn. Thank God nothing happened to him.
But only Kunle knew what had really happened. As he walked to his room, he could not stop thinking about what he had witnessed in the bush. Even after a shower and laying on his bed, he still couldn't find sleep. Night gradually turned into day. It was a beautiful Saturday afternoon indeed. Neighbors outside doing different activities, some playing cards and others laughing at one another's jokes. and by the side sat beautiful Kehinde, peaceful and elegantly filing her nails. As she saw Kunle, she got up and proceeded to where Kunle was having a chat with his neighbors. She had no injuries, no cuts, no bruises. She was fully human.
Hey, Kunle. Let's go to the cinema.
Huh?
I promise we will have fun.
No, thank you.
Kunle, who was known not to refuse a movie outing on a Saturday, refused to go out. Well, I hope he's okay, Kehinde whispered to herself. He probably needs some more sleep. She smiled, blowing a bubble of chewing gum as she walked away, her eyes looking like she knew exactly what had just happened. As days turned to weeks and weeks into months, Kunle could no longer stand the torment of seeing Kehinde every day. She would always look at him with a smile as if trying to read his mind. Kunle grew uncomfortable. Living in the same compound with Kehinde became a torture. He couldn't bear the trauma anymore. Nightmares of incidents in the forest could not let him sleep as well, as also Kehinde's mischievous stares whenever she saw him. That night, Kunle made up his mind.
I am leaving this city. I cannot continue like this. Enough of this torment and torture. I cannot stay in the same compound with that Kehinde woman. She is messing with my head. I must leave.
1 month later,
but I'm going to miss my job. I'm going to miss my friends. But it's better I leave. It's better I have my sanity.
Kunle packed his luggage. He told his friend Lami, hugged him and left the city of Lagos, never to return. On his way, Kunle felt peace again. He felt relieved, finally away from all the chaos and nightmare. He looked up and smiled at the sign he had just seen. The sign read, "Welcome to Abuja." Abuja was a fresh start for Kunle. 2 years had passed and the memories of that night in Lagos had started to fade. Life here was different. Quiet streets, cleaner air, no endless buses, no honking. He had gotten a new job, a new routine. He had found peace. He had found sleep. And life became easy for Kunle once again. Then he met Amina. Amina was an orphan. Everyone knew her story as the girl who grew up in the orphanage. No family, no friends, just a few acquaintances. At least that's the story she told everyone who she met. She was beautiful beyond words, but it was more than beauty. Her presence felt magnetic. Her eyes were soft yet knowing. Her laughter could light up a room. And at the sight of Amina, Kunle fell in love. Soon, Kunle and Amina became friends. Amina owned a boutique and Kunle would always bring flowers to her. Soon, they got married, quietly in a small court wedding, away from the eyes of the world. Life seemed so perfect. 5 years had passed already and they had had 2 beautiful children with a home filled with joy. On this fateful day before Amina left for the boutique, she called Lisa, her domestic help. "Lisa! Ma!" Lisa responded, "Make sure you remember to take the kids to the toy shop, okay? Make it at 2 p.m. Let them get whatever they want. I will send money to your account." "Okay, ma, no problem, ma. Have a good day, ma," Lisa responded as Amina drove off. At 2 p.m., Lisa, had taken the kids to the shop. While they got to the store, they saw different toys, but the kids were drawn to a particular type of toys, dragon. Dragon warrior! They screamed, chuckled, and jumped excited. Buy this one, auntie! Buy this one, auntie! Please! Lisa, unbothered, paid for the toys, and as she paid for the dragon toys, she had this funny look on her face. After she made payment, she took the kids from the mall and they returned back home with their new toys and a few chocolates. At night, Kunle returned back from work and decided to check on his kids in their bedroom. Kunle entered into their room, smiling happily as he saw his two lovely kids sleeping peacefully. But then something caught Kunle's eyes. The toys. They were dragons, staring at him with menacing eyes. Kunle's stomach churned, his eyes in shock. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. Memories of Kehinde, the dragons, and the terrifying night in Lagos rushed back like a flood. He couldn't look away. Immediately, he summoned courage, picked up the toys, not minding he was on barefoot. Kunle walked outside the house in the cold night and into the bin. It went. "We don't need such things in this house," he muttered, but shaking, afraid. Please, my people, do not forget to like, to share, and to subscribe. It helps us in creating more beautiful stories like this for you. The next morning, Lisa, the domestic help, as she started her chores, she came outside to dispose the bin bag. Then, inside the bin, she saw the toys. Ah, these toys are expensive. Why throw them away now? These rich people save and wasting money. It turned out that the day Lisa bought the toys, she had kept a huge tip for herself. I still have like 100k in my account.
Thank you, kids, for saving some money for Auntie Lisa. You people should continue. I'll be a millionaire soon.
As always, whenever she was sent on errands, she kept huge tips for herself because her madam never cared to ask for change nor receipt. Lisa then disposed the rubbish. Unbothered, she walked back into the house, completed her chores, and closed for the day and left. As days went by, Kunle's heart was disturbed. Nights became restless again. Sleep refused him. He woke up in cold sweats, thinking of Kehinde's warning, of the promise he had made. As he remembered, not even the ants should hear about this. Amina noticed as she combed her hair.
Kunle, my love, what is the matter? I have noticed you have been acting strange lately.
Kunle hesitated. The words stuck in his throat, but the weight of secrecy was unbearable. At least, let him speak to his wife. Maybe she would be able to help him. Maybe they will be able to find help out of this situation so that once and for all, he can be finally free. There and then, Kunle told
It all started
Amina
one night
everything.
after the close of work in Lagos. I think I should just tell you.
Go ahead. I'm listening. I'm here with you.
I
The
know.
night in Lagos. Amina heard everything. Kehinde, the shortcut, the dragon, the promise he had made. Amina's expression changed as Kunle narrated his story. Her brown eyes grew cold. Anger, fear, and something shimmered in her gaze. Suddenly, Amina's eyes turned green.
You promised not to speak. You broke your promise.
Her voice was no longer human. It carried a growl, deep and resonant, like something from another world. Kunle
Who are you?
froze.
What have you done to my wife?
And then it happened. Amina's body twisted, her skin cracked, stretched, her eyes glowed green, and sharp teeth glimmered. Amina was transforming, becoming the dragon he had seen in Lagos. From the bedroom came across screams. Kunle rushed out to see his children, but when he got to their room, the kids too had transformed. They had changed. Their faces were no longer humans. Their features twisted into unrecognizable forms, claws and teeth like monsters, eyes glowing faint green. Suddenly, a voice echoed from within the house. You will pay for breaking our promise, the beast said, their voices overlapping, filling the house with terror. Kunle fell to the ground, trembling, unable to speak, unable to move. The creatures circled him, then vanished outside the house, away from the compound. Silence, darkness. Only Kunle remained, shaking, heart racing, his mind on the edge. From that night, Kunle's life became a slow descent into mental illness. He could no longer eat, he could no longer sleep. The days blurred into nights, and the nights into endless terror. He spoke to no one. His mind broke under the weight of the secret and the promise he had made. He never had a shower, nor ate any food. He just sat in his room, talking to himself.
I shouldn't have told her. Yes. No. I should have kept quiet. I broke the promise.
Other days, he would walk staring at the windows, and sometimes he felt the dragons were coming, and so he would tiptoe to check if he was safe. Bright Kunle was now a shadow of himself. When the neighbors didn't see nor hear from Kunle, especially after the loud noise 4 nights ago, they decided to visit. They knocked and knocked, but no response. So they let themselves in, and there was Kunle sitting calm on the floor in a conversation with himself, looking unkempt and lean, a complete shadow of who they knew him to be. Quickly, one of the neighbors called the doctors. As they came, the ambulance speedily into the compound. The doctors came into the room and tried to attend to Kunle, but he was stubborn. He struggled. He refused to comply. But finally, he was able to be taken outside and then to the hospital. Kunle was rushed to a Yaba psychiatric hospital, a shell of the man he had once been. And every night, Kunle whispered to the darkness, "You broke the promise. You broke our promise." It was a hassle trying to make Kunle sleep. Even when the doctors or the nurses were able to put him to sleep, 5 minutes, Kunle would get up and begin to echo again, I promised, I shouldn't have spoken." Learn to solve your problems and not run away from them. Also get to know people well before you choose to marry them. Till our next story, do not forget to like, share and subscribe, as this helps us in creating more beautiful stories like this for you. Bye for now.